his experience. He's so smart. He have everything in a fighter, a complete fighter. He don't have power in the punches, but sometimes you don't need it. You know, when you that kind of fighter, you don't need it.
He knows distance well, and I don't think the other guys can like reach him or capitalize off of it.
Now, everybody's saying decision. Could a stoppage be on the table? Because you said like frustrate him.
Yeah, for sure. A stoppage is always in the works. You know, these guys fighting with 8 ounces on no head gear. Anything can happen in boxing. Just be himself. Be him. Don't listen to the crowd. Don't listen to these fans. Don't listen to these haters, naysaying doubters. Just be him. Do what he do best, and that's one.
He's more of a fighter. Like he's a ring generalship. He's in there thinking. He's calm. He's having fun because Teofimo's been proving it before. And I gotta emphasize this. If someone can pull it off, it's definitely Teofimo Lopez. If Teofimo Lopez doesn't do it, I don't see who's gonna beat Shakur Stevenson.
Several boxing experts believe Teofimo Lopez has the tools to dominate Shakur Stevenson, citing Lopez's sharp instincts, rapid footwork, and relentless aggression as factors that could put significant pressure on Stevenson's methodical, defense-oriented style.
Teofimo showed you that he can fight inside, he can fight outside. He would have the advantage of power in this fight. You know one thing that I love about this fight, Bud? Shakur's very athletic, very talented. So is Teofimo. He's more explosive with power, but Teofimo is very athletic. He is very talented. You got two athletic guys, two talented guys. Again, Teofimo I would favor with the power. This is going to be interesting.
Analysts and fellow fighters highlight Teofimo Lopez's physical stature and power as key assets, particularly when facing a highly skilled yet smaller opponent such as Shakur Stevenson.
He's a very special athlete, and as a competitor, he is one of those guys who saves his A game for a fellow elite opponent. That's when he really rises his game and shows us the Teofimo Lopez that everybody thought he was when he was a prospect. People used to look at him and say, oh, this guy is going to be the star in boxing. It didn't really play out that way, but every now and then he reminds us how special he is.
Teofimo is a two-division Ring Magazine champion. In both fights where he won the Ring Magazine championship, he was the underdog. 4-1 underdog against Lomachenko. People forget, Lomachenko was taking elite fighters in the lower divisions and they were quitting.
Yes.
He was beating them into something. They were like, I can't do this, right? And Teofimo beat him. Right, he outboxed him.
Yeah, he didn't do it by physically imposing himself on him.
He outboxed him, he outfought him, he had speed, power, and then again against Josh Taylor at junior welterweight, he was the underdog, so he saves his best for his biggest moment.
Lopez has stated that his strategy is to make the fight physically intense, using his size and power at 140 pounds to disrupt Stevenson's timing and create opportunities for significant strikes, aiming for a possible stoppage instead of leaving the outcome to the judges.
A very talented, skillful, technique fighter.
Yeah.
Can't take anything away from it. However, scared to get hit. Scared to get knocked out in front of the world, scared to get touched up in front of the world.
Are you saying that off of the last fight or just
in general?
In general.
In general.
Yeah.
In general. Me and Shakur sparred before. We did 3 rounds and it was just light work and me trying to figure out his jab. Does he have a good jab? Yeah, he does. But once you pass his jab, it's game.
Shane Mosley has suggested that Stevenson could be taking a significant risk by facing such a powerful opponent at 140 pounds. The issue isn't Stevenson's skill, but how his buddy might handle the added weight.
I don't think that, well, maybe. I mean, Shakur might show some different, if he has to go after Teofimo, he might show some different type of heart that we haven't seen or different type of fighting we haven't seen. And vice versa, whereas Teofimo's hitting him with different shots off the angle that is kind of giving, Shakur Stevenson trouble. We'll see about that. So we just don't know.
Yeah, the thing is, is I think people overlook of Teofimo is he can box when he wants to. Like, he's shown he has a slick style too when he wants to do that.
When he wants to do that. So if you have a slick style and you got power and you got the speed too, and you're fighting at 140, so let's see. I don't know if Shakur Stevenson is going to get slower moving up in weight or not, where Teofimo can hit him. Maybe he was really fast at 130, 26-30, maybe 35, but 40, you put on a little bit more weight. I think that he holds the weight probably really, really good, but you just don't know.
Boxers who have moved up in weight caution that Stevenson might lose some of the speed and agility that usually set him apart at 140 pounds, while Lopez's combination of quickness, strength, and physical presence becomes even more effective at that division.
This scenario, what if it's the Teofimo that beat Lomachenko? What if that Teofimo shows up?
Like I said, and Lomachenko is a not easy fight. Teofimo was able to be in the ring with different type of fighters and figure it out. The fighters that Shakur Stevenson was in with, they couldn't figure it out or get close to figuring it out. Whereas Teofimo had to figure out that type of style, and Lomachenko is a hard fight to fight. So that's why this fight is so interesting. And for Shakur Stevenson to move up to 140 to fight him is definitely a hats off to him.
Do you have a favorite on paper in that fight at all, Shane?
I believe it's 50-50. It's a fight that I just have to sit down and watch and just want to see, like I said, who imposed their will on the...
Analysts such as Andre Ward suggest that the fight could come down to fine details, how well each fighter executes their plan, their timing, and overall conditioning, since at an elite level, their styles are closely matched.
Like them both, because Teo knows it's going to be a real fight. Shakur knows it's going to be a real fight. And I look at Shakur like a fighter who has a blank canvas. He's got the IQ, he got the experience, and the athleticism, and the skill set where he can paint any type of picture he wants to on a blank canvas. When I look at Teofimo Lopez, he's almost that. He has a blank canvas, but he needs an outline on what to draw and what to paint inside the line. Now, every now and again, he'll go away from the outline that he has and he'll do something dope and you'll be like, oh, that was cool. That wasn't on the outline right there. But I don't think that he can create on the fly like a Shakur Stevenson. But what he does bring to the table and what Shakur does have to deal with is explosive power, quick twitch, muscles, and the type of punches that he likes to throw. And Teo doesn't have the foot game that Shakur has, but he's got a decent...
Max Kellerman notes that Shakur Stevenson carries more at stake due to his unbeaten record and technical reputation, while Teofimo Lopez, as the underdog, faces less pressure and has more to gain, making the matchup both risky and unpredictable.
Shakur is fighting to protect that perfect record, to protect that kind of sense that he's the next guy. On the other hand, Teo is like he can fight with more abandon against Shakur because there's so much for him to gain. And if he loses, he's lost before. He's lost to Camp.
Paulie Molan-Oji emphasizes that Shakur Stevenson's top-tier defensive abilities make him exceptionally difficult to overcome. At the same time, he believes that if Teofimo Lopez delivers his strongest performance, he has a real chance to pull off an upset and claim victory.
Is at his most dangerous when he's counted out. And this is going to be one of those fights where he's going to be counted out. Because Shakur is looked at by and large as the guy who can dominate boxing in this generation, right? It's just a matter of him getting the opportunity. I myself have felt that he's the guy who could and should be dominating boxing if he gets the right matchups. But bro, this is one of the rare matchups, if not maybe the only matchup, where I feel like it's a big threat here to Shakur. And then they would all come undone only because of this reason. Teofimo Lopez, we've seen him at his best, but he typically brings out his best characteristics when he's back against the wall and he's counted out. And he's going to be counted out in this fight. By and large, people are going to side with Shakur in this fight to win the fight because he's the more consistent fighter, he's the more class fighter overall, and he's just so damn good. There's just something about Teofimo, man. He brings out a different level and somehow supersedes that guy who is that damn good. I've seen it. We've seen it already. I'm not saying anything that anybody else hasn't already seen, okay? I'm just stipulating it. I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't know who wins this fight. Because again, your better head says Shakur, but then you think about, man, Teofimo Again,
He's got the X factor.
What I just
He's got
explained.
the talent to
I'm
just.
telling you right now.
Yeah.
Shakur is extremely talented and could be the face of boxing as far as being that good and being that dominant, even though no matter how good you are. But this is one of the rare fights where you can get beat. And I don't ever want to hear any of you tank nut huggers that he fights one Uber driver after another. If Shakur Stevenson loses this fight, I don't ever want to hear any of you saying, oh, what about Shakur now? Tank.
Teofimo Lopez's speed and punching power give him a legitimate opportunity to win, but he'll need to account for Shakur Stevenson's exceptional defense and movement, tools Stevenson relies on to manage distance, frustrate opponents, and evade heavy punches.
That being said, then what does Teo got to do to win?
He has to get Shakur up. How would I say this? I don't want to just make it seem like come across as if Shakur is novice, but the times that Shakur is putting himself against the ropes, this is the time that Teofimo is going to have to depend on his explosiveness. He's going to have to depend on his offset lead right hands. He's going to have, but even doing that, everything with Teo comes off his front foot, his explosiveness, his speed, everything. So it's almost like whenever the times he gets Shakur up against the rope, he got to pick his shots well, but then after that, he have to be ready to defend, because with Shakur, the return is always coming. So he got to go into the offensive lane, but he have to go into it with good defense, which in my opinion, he really don't do that good when he's going into offense. He usually come in to an offense lane, like with his lead hand down, coming with head movement. But I just believe when you do get closer to Shakur, he's going to have to overload with work. He's going to have to really double up with one hand. He's going to have to use his feet, bust angles, things of that nature.
Devin Haney points out that for Teofimo Lopez to overcome Shakur Stevenson, he needs to stay consistently active and assertive throughout the fight. While Lopez's natural power and explosiveness make him dangerous, his recent performances have shown periods of low output, which gives a highly skilled and mobile fighter like Stevenson the chance to control the tempo. Stevenson thrives on movement, precise counters, and managing distance. To counter this, Lopez must maintain a higher volume of punches, constantly press the action, and force exchanges instead of waiting for perfect openings. By staying aggressive, he can disrupt Stevenson's spacing and prevent him from settling into the defensive rhythm that usually frustrates attacking fighters.
Type of boxing. I'm excited to see that. Styles make fights. I think Shakur is just a more superior boxer. I think that Teo is athletic and he has skills, but I see Shakur winning.
Do you think Teo, to win a fight like that, would have to be a little bit more active? It seems like he likes to throw one punch at a time.
Yeah, I mean, I think that he could be athletic, but I think he would just have to be, it would have to be a method to his madness for sure. I don't think athletic would just.
Teofimo Lopez has stated that he isn't going to let Shakur Stevenson claim the title he has earned. He highlights the sacrifices behind his achievements, explaining that the championship reflects years of dedication, hard work, and perseverance. For Lopez, this fight is about protecting the rewards of his efforts. Confident in his own abilities, he is determined to defend his standing in the ring. He sees this moment as deeply personal, driven by pride and commitment, and insists that no one can take away what he has earned through discipline and hard work.
Exactly. Of being in the ring,
yes.
Shakur Stevenson. Obviously, you guys are both in Las Vegas. I'm hearing that you did link up today. A face-off happened between the two of you?
Face-off happened. Things of that nature. Just to create the things that are in motion already. So we're really adamant about fighting each other next, and I can't wait for us to really lace it up. And I see him across the ring, and really when that bell rings, lights out for him.
What's it like seeing him now kind of face to face? When you look at him, what do you see? Because obviously you're not locked in just yet, and the closer it gets to a fight, obviously things turn a little bit. But when you do look at Shakur, what do you think of him?
I think I don't think too much of it. I think that he believes in himself. That's one thing. But I'm here to destroy his dreams and all that he wants to do and become. You can't take this from me. I worked very hard for it. I've bled for this, and I'm not taking nothing from him, but I just believe that what's gonna happen next is for destiny in the boxing ring to decide. Let the people really see what it was and has always been: the best fighting the best, and the winner becomes the man or the woman.
Yeah. Fighting Shakur Stevenson, he is an exceptional fighter. He comes under a lot of criticism, though, for his style of fighting. Some people describe him as a boring fighter. How do you think the fight between you two will play out, and what do you think needs to happen to negate people saying that about that fight?
No, that's a thoughtful question. Honestly, it's a real nice assessment to see how everyone looks at a certain fighter, right? And I think that holds on to Shakur Stevenson when people say he's boring or he's not as entertaining. And I think that with a fighter like himself, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. He's undefeated for a reason. Maybe some people don't like it, but this is why the takeover is here. To make it at least fun and make it great, and do what I can to engage on that. Now, how do we do that? Well, you guys got to.
Bruce Carrington, a well-known boxing analyst and former fighter, points out a potential weakness in Teofimo Lopez's game when facing Shakur Stevenson, adapting to constant movement and disciplined spacing. While Lopez possesses explosive athleticism and significant punching power, Carrington observes that he has struggled in the past against opponents who consistently shift angles and avoid predictable patterns. Stevenson's calmness, tactical intelligence, and mastery of distance could exploit this, forcing Lopez to overreach, miss shots, or become frustrated if he can't corner his opponent. Carrington notes that if Stevenson controls the pace and stays disciplined in his movement, he can limit Lopez's power and force him to fight on Stevenson's terms rather than executing his own aggressive game plan.
Teo is going to bring the fight. He's very athletic. He has a lot of explosiveness, but I do feel like when it comes to Shakur, bro, his movement may frustrate him. The only thing that worries me when it comes to Teofimo is his frustration. Is he going to be able to work well with a mover? We've seen, difficulties that he had with Sandro Martin. We've seen the difficulties that he had with Jimmy Ortiz, guys that's been moving around and not staying still. If you keep Teo moving around and he can't plant his feet, what can he do? We're going to have to find that out on, January 31st. And I think Shakur, he's probably one of the best guys to, move his feet, be on defense, being hella patient and frustrating a fighter, bro. So we got to see what his mentality is going to be like come January 31st.
Do you think that his experience on the biggest of stages, his two biggest wins, he was an underdog. And both guys, ironically enough, were southpaws like Shakur. That play any factor to you, man?
Nah, styles is different. The styles are totally different. Lomachenko don't fight like Shakur. Josh Taylor don't fight like Shakur. I don't see, just because southpaw, that same thing will happen. I feel like certain techniques could be used to fight Shakur, yeah. But in terms of that approach of the fight, nah. Shakur fights totally different. You gotta be able to do some out of pocket stuff with Shakur. You gotta throw while he's throwing. That's probably some of the only times that he's able to get hit. Only time he's open. So
Greg Hackett offers a thoughtful and measured prediction for the Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez matchup. He favors Stevenson taking a decision victory due to his discipline, boxing intelligence, and ability to dictate the flow of a fight. At the same time, Hackett emphasizes that the sport is unpredictable and Lopez cannot be underestimated. He notes that Teofimo's explosiveness, timing, or relentless energy could turn the bout in an instant. Still, Hackett sees Stevenson's consistency and preparation as the key factors. He believes Stevenson is fully aware of the danger Lopez poses and will train with maximum focus, recognizing that this fight is pivotal for both men. With two elite athletes clashing at their prime, Hackett views this as a contest where exceptional talent meets exceptional talent, and anything can happen.
I think Shakur. Yeah, my first mind told me Shakur, and I thought about it. Yeah, I'm picking Shakur by decision, but because this is fighting, anything can happen. You can't count Teo out. So there is thoughts sometimes that cross my brain, damn, what if Teo catch him real good though? You know what I mean? And hurt him. Or what if he just out hustling? You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of crossed my mind, but I still like Shakur for the dub. I like Shakur for the dub because he knows how to win. Like, he knows how to win. You know what I'm saying? And he's always prepared to win. So, and I think Shakur respects Teo to the point where he gonna train like he's never trained before. Because this is a great fight for him. This is probably the best fight of his career. When you put Magic and Bird together, it happens. You know what I'm saying? And this is the kind of situation it is. Magic Johnson was nice, but Larry Bird was nice. You put them together, you get a nice game. I mean, so you put these two together, you get a nice fight.
Is this one of the fights that we're going to remember historically? Like, is this a, you know,
to go back and
it's
study.
19, it's 19, when did Leonard and Hearns first fight? Is this one of them?
That shit was like 87 or some shit. Yeah.
It's 19.
Like 87 or something.
No, it had to be earlier than that, right?
84 maybe.
One? Yeah, like
I don't know, because he was in the 76 Olympics. Well, no, 70.
Wasn't it 78?
No, they ain't fighting 78.
No, I'm saying 78 Olympics, wasn't he?
Probably 78 or some shit.
Teofimo Lopez brings notable power, size, and relentless forward pressure, and he has proven capable of hurting opponents who engage him in exchanges. However, analysts often point out that he can struggle against fighters who constantly disrupt his rhythm through movement and changing angles. Shakur Stevenson's strengths lie in controlling distance, fluid footwork, and precise timing, skills he uses to frustrate aggressive fighters and avoid taking clean shots. By keeping Lopez on the move, varying levels and angles, and forcing him to reset his attacks repeatedly, Stevenson can limit Lopez's effectiveness. With disciplined spacing and strategic boxing, Stevenson has the tools to neutralize Lopez's power and make it challenging for him to dictate the fight.
Shakur Stevenson can win this on points, Spencer, but he's going to have to be at his very, very best. As we look at these images of the two men, this is the fight that ignites the American market this year. It's obviously got the backing of Turki Al Sheikh, Ring Magazine. The key for me is, can Shakur be big enough to withstand what Teo is going to bring physically as well as psychologically and technically in this fight?
Absolutely, and that's the fascination surrounding this fight. You look at this one and you say, Shakur Stevenson, if he can step up another weight division and become 4-weight world champion, this is his chance now to become that superstar, that all-time great. You know, not just a generational great, but an all-time great. And I've really believed that. Like I've always said, Shakur Stevenson for me will emerge as this great fighter, and I think this is his fight right now. I think that he wins this fight as well.
Teofimo Lopez has expressed that he thinks Shakur Stevenson took the fight to make a statement. He believes Stevenson was motivated after seeing Terence Crawford achieve a historic upset over Canelo Alvarez and now wants to prove himself by defeating Lopez. According to Lopez, Stevenson had limited top-level options at 140 pounds, making this bout a prime opportunity for him to demonstrate he belongs among the elite. Lopez also maintains that he can exploit weaknesses in Stevenson's defense, arguing that Stevenson's drive is fueled not just by chasing a title, but by the desire to validate his own standing in the sport.
For me, I believe in me before anybody else believed in me. Shakur is stepping up because he got nobody else to go after. He's stepping up to try to prove a point. You know, his big bro, a.k.a. Terence Bud Crawford, you know, put a huge upset and made a historical moment in time. I think those things like that make Shakur want to step up the plate, step up to the challenge, and face Teofimo. Who is I? I mean, we were stablemates, me and Shakur, top rank. He talks about this and that and about I was jealous of him. No, I'm not. You were a 2016 USA silver medalist. You're going to get your signing bonus and all that extra stuff. Thing was, they were trying to secure him in a different route because they had put a lot of money in him. Me, I think I was just supposed to be an opponent eventually. I'm possessively obsessed with this. Yeah. That's why they call me crazy. It's all right.
Robert Garcia, the renowned trainer behind fighters like Virgil Ortiz Jr., shared his thoughts on the Stevenson versus Lopez matchup and revealed his prediction. While he acknowledges that Shakur Stevenson is technically the superior boxer, Garcia favors Teofimo Lopez to come out on top. His reasoning isn't that Lopez is better overall, but that he admires Lopez's mindset, courage, and warrior mentality. Garcia highlights that Lopez's confidence, resilience, and willingness to unleash his power under pressure could be decisive, provided he stays focused and performs at his peak. Ultimately, Garcia believes the fight will hinge on which fighter can stick to their strategy and remain composed when it matters most.
Fimo has had some great performances, great wins. Shakur is also a 3-division champion, going for his 4th. Unbelievable talent. It's a fight where we're gonna see talent from both, but we also have to see heart. That who has that heart to become the man. I think that fight's gonna be more about who's smarter, who plays the better cards, and who doesn't make mistakes, because it's going to be one of those fights where we might not have too much action, but we're all going to be standing up because we want to see who's going to land and who's going to be the one that finds those punches to land. It's a very interesting fight, and they're both in their prime. They're both, that's what boxing is.
So, what's your take? How do you see the showdown between Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson playing out when they finally meet in the ring?